Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Riz. Some of you know me as Jared. Some of you call me the Recovery Warrior. All in all, this is the Recovery Warrior channel. If you're scrolling and you happen to hit on this channel, the Recovery Warrior is about us addicts and alcoholics who are struggling, not so much today, but have been in the turmoil of addiction. And by doing the wonderful steps and of each program, NAA, whether it may be finding God of your own understanding, we've learned to deal with the addiction that, we come across throughout our everyday lifestyle. That's just the path that God has chosen for us, Some people are lawyers, some people are doctors. We are functional addicts and alcoholics. The Recovery Warrior channel is basically about being a warrior in recovery. We fight this battle every day, and that's what we do. We put in the work, we show up, and we get to go home at night with a clean mindset. So I ask brothers and sisters to come on, and hence I got a sister here now. Her name is Denise, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and the wonderful life of living in recovery today. Go ahead, Denise.
Hi, Denise, alcoholic. I have a sponsor who knows she's my sponsor, and I sponsor other ladies. I've been sober since January 13th, no, January 14th, 2023.
Nice. How did you get sober?
How did I get sober?
Treatment, EDO?
Treatment.
Treatment, huh?
Yeah.
You just went on your own, or were you...
I did. Well,
volunteered? Did they make you go, or?
No, there was in 2022, I got really, really lost in everything, and I was trying to be a mom and trying to be a girlfriend and trying to be everything to everybody else.
So you were just juggling lifestyles?
I was, and I thought I was being present.
Thought you knew it all?
I did.
Kinda.
I thought I could manage it. I thought life was manageable. I thought I was doing the best I could. As long as I was there taking care of my kids, as long as I came home every single night, then that was it. Like in I think it was January 2022. The kids' dad left in like December, and so I'd go up to Fargo all the time. Everything was cheaper up there, and I'd go to Fargo, and I'd haul all the kids with me, and I'd cry around to everybody, and I would use everybody, like, oh, I need money, like, can I, I'm gonna go do this, or I need gas money, or just all these different things, just lying to people all the time, and trying to hide my addiction at the same time. And it was kind of hard. It was a little hard, but
You managed?
I managed.
As we all do.
Yeah. I think everybody just loved me. Yeah. I lost my grandparents a while back ago, and so it's just like me, just kind of like roaming around, and everybody knew that I was close to them and that my grandma did a lot for me. So I would say they just kind of felt sorry for me, and they would just, they would just help me and help my kids. I used my kids as a crutch a lot. The kids need diapers, the kids need food, the kids need all this, and I never ever really took care of them.
So they were like basically enabling you, but you're using your kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I totally did. It was in January 15th, I was coming back, and I was pouting because I didn't get enough money to get what I wanted. And I was on the interstate by Jamestown, and I ended up crashing my van. I ran into a hay hauler, and I like got hooked on it, and like I just remember like none of my kids were buckled in, and my oldest, he like stood in the middle of the seat, and like he was looking at me and looking at the road, and like I just thought I thought we were gonna roll. I thought this was it, like this is, but we ended up hooking on to that hay hauler, and like he slowed down, and so my van slowed down too, and it just came to a stop.
Yeah.
And I remember being so sick and everything, and I called their dad, and he was still in Fargo, and he was so mad. And I was calling everybody, I was in a car accident, just thinking like, oh, they're probably gonna give me money, like they're gonna make everything better, and it wasn't ever like that. Like he went and he picked us up, and I went home, and like I remember I I didn't want to be a mom anymore.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I was really selfish. The kids were just a bother at that time, and we had an apartment in Bismarck, and I remember sitting in there, and I was trying to call everybody and see if I could get whatever I needed, and just to make myself feel better. And the kids' dad took the rest of his stuff, and he left us there, and I was just like, how could anybody say that I'm just a bad junkie, or just it's worst mom ever, but leave all my kids with me. And I resented my kids at that time, and I was just like, I called my brother, and I was like, can you come get my kids? I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. And so the next day he came in, he picked them up. I had five of them, and all under the age of, they 4 and under. And he came and picked them up, and I was like, I'm gonna go to treatment. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I had that. I kind of had that little dream of going to treatment, but then again, I didn't want to stop. And they just let me be. Like, my family honestly just let me be. And I was like, why? Why isn't anybody trying to come save me? Like, why isn't anybody trying to help me? Like, my family on my dad's side wouldn't help me whatsoever. They didn't want to be a crutch for me.
Yeah.
So they're like, she's got to figure it out herself. And my brother on my mom's side, he's my first cousin. And he's the one that kind of helped me along, and he would talk to me all the time. And my dad's side of the family, they prayed for me. And those prayers today, I know they have saved my life. Absolutely saved my life. I finally, like a month in, after not having my kids around, I got really lonesome. Got really lonely, and I didn't, I was like, man, I want to be a mom. Like, I want my family back. And that was my whole purpose of going into treatment. I thought I was going to get my family back. I thought I was going to get my family off my back. Everything was going to be good. Everything was, everything was going to go back to normal. And it didn't. I spent 2 months in treatment that I called the MHA hotline number, and they got me in. And I had a couple of friends that lived here in Bismarck that would help me out a lot. And I think she's a peer support, actually. So they took me to all the way to Wahpeton, got us a room, and just did the most. And it's like, I never understood like why people like this were helping me out or anything, and by that time I was rough. I looked rough.
What was in Wahpeton?
I met I went to treatment in Canton, South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
So their driver picked you up in Wahpeton and then drove you to Canton. So I did that. I spent 2 months there, and at that time I wasn't really learning anything. I just kind of like, I don't know, just dried out, and then it was still everybody else's problem. It was still everybody else's fault. I was the victim yet. We'd go to AA meetings like every night at 7 o'clock, and I remember they were talking about the big book, and on here I was like, what is the big book? Like, I didn't know anything about that, and they were like, yeah, it's the big book, and finally I asked one of the counselors, like, what is the big book? And she was like, it's this book right here, a little tiny book.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was all like,
the small one.
yeah. I was like, this is a big book? And she's like, yeah. And the first story I read in there was, the counselor told me to read Gratitude in Action on page 193. So I was like, all right. And I read it, and geez, it kind of like it planted that seed. And I was like, all right. And then I became more interested in it, and started chairing meetings down there, and I started kind of getting into it, and we had these workbooks that we had to go through, and a lot of things. It was a dual diagnosis treatment, so it dealt with a lot of mental health and mental illness, and then it went back to treating your addiction at the same time. So it was really good. Here I get out of treatment. I do my 60 days, and I was like, all right, I moved back to my hometown in Mandaree, and I stayed there with my dad. And my brother, he got really sick from diabetes, and he was on dialysis, and he ended up passing away like 3 days after he gave my kids back. So like, you know, to have him take care of my kids that long was like,
yeah,
it was a blessing. It really was. Here, I got all my kids back. Their dad was in Grand Forks at the time, and he was working, and he was like trying to save up money, and me, like, I'd call him, and you know, there were some things that I learned at treatment, like, you know, just having that pause or not trying to argue with people. And you know, there was some things that I learned there that like I tried to apply in my life. But then it got to where, like, you know, I wanted it my way, and I wanted it right now.
yeah.
And it didn't work out like that, and I ended up relapsing. Like, Mandaree, there was no like source in town to where like we could go to meetings, or like there was maybe like one NA sponsor, and that was it. And like, you know, I did my best to reach out to her, and just try to get on Zoom. And that's where, like, I think it was somebody sent me a link for Cap City Zoom.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you know. And ever since then, like, you know, I was like, I love this group of people. Like,
Yeah.
they've I started out like 2 years ago, and they were the biggest part of my recovery. Like, they would sit there and they would talk to me, and there was times that I'd be crying, and I didn't know what to do, or, you know, and they would just sit there after the meeting, and they would talk to me.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned about fellowship and everything. And
isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
It's awesome, huh?
There's that slogan at the clubhouse in Bismarck, Cap City Clubhouse. It says, "We love you until you love yourself." And that's exactly what they did. Because I did not love me whatsoever. I was still trying to figure things out, and I thought I knew it all, and I ended up relapsing. And the kids' dad finally, you know, he got us a place in Grand Forks, and he was like, "I'm coming to pick you and the kids up." And I was like, "I think I need treatment again." And he was like, "Well, I'm not going to come get you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right." I was like, "Well," I said, just come get us then." And I remember leaving Mandaree, and I was kind of happy that I was leaving, because I was like, all right, you know, like, I'm going to get away from this, and I'm going to have a new start. That geographical cure is what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything like that. I got up there, and like 4 days in, I was sick, and I was like, you know, please God, you know, just using God for all the wrong reasons. And I was like, help me find the people that stay up all night. And that's exactly who I found.
Really?
I found there was a girl I remember over there in Grand Forks, and she told me, she was like, these are the worst people to be hanging out with. She was like, these are the people, the slums of Grand Forks. And she was like, and you're bringing them to your home. And that's what I was doing. I didn't care who I brought around my kids, you know. I was there, you know. I like to self-sabotage a lot, and like, my little home life in Grand Forks, like, it felt like I had my family back. But then again, I was like, this, you know, this isn't it. Like, this is not what I want. Like, it's gonna go bad again. Like, I know it. Like, I'm gonna be stuck in this house, and I'm gonna be doing all these things, and being a mom again all by myself. And it was a lot. So I, you know, like, the kids' dad would let me go out during the night to go hang out with friends, and he'd work during the day, and that's how it worked. So I was like, okay. And as soon as I got a little breath of fresh air, I was off to the races again. And I wouldn't come home until like 4 or 5 in the morning, go to sleep, and then watch the kids, and just, you know, just be angry all the time, just be irritated all the time.
That's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Oh, it's toxic as hell.
It really
you made it work though,
It really
in a bad way. But you know, that's what we do. You know, I can relate.
Yeah, I got really bad again over there. I got really bad again over there, and that's where I kind of just lost all self-respect for
Yeah.
myself. I didn't care what I was doing.
As long as you're putting that substance in your body, yeah, I know what you mean.
I really did. And
Yeah. It's addiction.
and then he packed up the kids and he left.
Yeah.
And I remember that day, like, 'cause he child or CPS was trying to like come take Oliver away and like take all my kids away, because there was times that I just kind of fell asleep and they would go outside and cops would come and just all these bad things, and it just kept happening. But like at the same time, like there was somebody or something, looking out for me.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason why like I should have all these chances. And I was like, oh, like, and I never really thought about it ever. And finally, he got sick of my shit. He got sick of my shit again, and like I was just like, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, I don't think you should be around the kids anymore. So I was like, okay. So I went back to treatment again, and this time I was like, man, like I really gotta do something different. I really gotta do something different. I really want my kids back in my life. So I got into treatment, and like I was like, all right, what am I missing? Like I was ready to do the work. I was ready to change. I was ready to do all these things. And the one big thing that I didn't do was enlarge my spiritual life. That was it.
Yeah.
And I remember spending so many times in the morning, so many times in the afternoon. Anytime I was lonely, I always prayed. I always kept so close to God, and that was it. Like reading the big book, like I was just trying to do the most in there, and I really.
When you were reading the big book, did you highlight or underline things?
I did. There was a lot.
Do you still have the same big book?
No, I lost it. I lost it.
Yeah.
When I relapsed, I lost a lot of things.
Chucked it.
No, it was gone. It was in this suitcase, and like somebody came and picked me up, and like I had to leave that suitcase, and like there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's all my treatment stuff in there, and like I could only bring my blankets and my clothes.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
yeah, I remember reading that book all the time, and like I was like, I'd be laughing because I was like, that's me. Like,
isn't that crazy?
It really is.
So much stuff in that big book you can relate to, and it's even to this day, like when you go through it with another sponsee, it's like
it's amazing.
It's easy to talk to a sponsee now, because like that's us, that's me. But it's like me when I went to Raleigh, right, and I had a big book. I took it from the hallway. So I took it in my room, and I didn't know what to do. I'm in treatment, I might as well do this big book stuff. So I'd start underlining with a red pen, thinking I'm doing the work. I'm gonna get sober by doing this. And I still have the same big book, but now it's like I don't even know why I underlined that. Maybe because it sounded cool at the time, and it means nothing at all,
There's some good stuff in there. Yeah. I'm in the whole book. Like I have several different women that I've gone through the big book with, and like, dude, it's cool. Like yesterday I just went over chapter 4, we agnostics. Awesome. So I was doing step 2 with her, and like the way my sponsor explained it, like I was just like, my eyes just lit up, and I was all like, how do you talk about God this? Like, oh,
and then like for me, like the red underline is like, it don't mean no sense at the time, because I was still, toxic in addiction. But now it's like I underlined with highlighters. I have green, I have pink, I have yellow and orange. Really? Like the stuff that actually means stuff, throughout my recovery. Yeah. So it's just crazy. It's just all highlighted to hell, And I still see the red pen, and like at the time, it was important to me, but right now it sounded cool. It's just.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I still have that same big book. It's falling apart, but I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. I bought a cover for it.
Really?
Yeah, and it has the 12 by 12 in the back, and it holds your coin. You've seen them. They look like a Bible almost. Yeah. Yeah, I got one of those.
Fancy one?
Yeah, fancy one. As soon as I started getting paid, I bought one. Oh well.
That's cool.
But yeah, as you were going, you take sponsees through the book, you were saying.
Yeah. Now I get to have that experience with other ladies. Like I've heard step two, that question that you asked, well, that I asked my sponsees is like, what does God look like to you? Or, you know, and then like throughout this week, like until we meet again, like describe the times that God has shown up to you, you know, or shows up in your life. And that's really cool because like I've heard different people say different things, or, you know, and it's like it's the best. Like,
I heard earlier in the meeting that this guy was saying something about he, you know, I was like, man, I don't know. I just get confused. It reminds me of like Boys in the Hood. You know, that chick's like, how do you know he's a he? He could be a she. You know, they're talking about God.
Yeah.
And people perceive this God as a he. Myself, I'm biased on that. I don't know, man. I don't teach my sponsees. I don't say he.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's a being.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
There was this one girl. Her higher power was her mom.
No way.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I see her all over, and I was like, well, how do you see that? And she was like, just in nature, and you know, like, if I see like the sun shining on something, or there's a bird out there, and it really gave me a whole new perspective on a lot of things, I guess.
So when you tell your sponsees, do you describe your higher power as a he? Like,
pretty much.
Yeah, like
I mean, like, it's just creator.
Yeah, you think creator is a he? Does it sound comfortable when you say that? Or you never really thought
I guess
about
like
it?
growing up Catholic.
Oh yeah, okay, that
so
makes sense. Like Jesus.
Yeah,
there's
I meant like he's a little hippie dude. You know? At one time, my higher power was Richard Simmons.
Oh no way.
Like, you know, he kept me going though.
Richard Simmons.
Yeah, I was having a hell of a lot.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You're like the God of your understanding.
Yeah.
All right, it's Richard Simmons.
Yeah, it's crazy. The higher power, I believe, I don't know what it is. It's like I picture it as a white light, you know, like a white just energy. That's kind of like my higher power. But I get really sensitive when I describe him to a sponsee, especially when I take him through the big book, because, you know, I don't know what they believe in.
Yeah.
And I don't care. That's up to them. I mean, it sucks that I think that way, but it's just the way it is. You know, I can't, here, believe in this sucker. Because I too was, you know, grew up Catholic, and they shoved it down my throat, and I don't know, you guys, if you guys want to hear my story, it's in the videos, just look it up. Anyway, I'm sensitive to a higher being.
Yeah.
It's weird now because I'm sober and I'm watching all this stuff on YouTube, and they talk about aliens and the fifth dimension, and it's just like, wow, you know, I never thought of all of that before.
Really?
Like these energies, these powers, you know, we're just simple addicts and alcoholics in recovery, but there's something greater than us, you know.
I'm sure it's gonna grow. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If I'm constantly seeking and constantly keeping that close conscious contact with the God of my understanding, like, I'm sure it's gonna keep growing. And I mean, it does all the time. Like, it's surprising. It's cool. Like, growth is amazing.
What was cool is down in Arizona, and Big Man and Ansel were down there, and they were in the crowd. I got called up to talk in front of like 100 men. And me being in recovery like a year, thinking I knew, you know, obviously we think we know every day, but we don't know shit, you know. So I called him out. I was like, and my wonderful sponsor, my grand sponsor is in the audience. And the guy that was chairing, he's like, stand up. And then Big Man, they're like, no. And that hurt, you know, in front of all these 100 men in Arizona. You know, I was like, at the end of it, you know, we're all standing around there smoking. I was like, bro, can you even stand up? And I give you a shout out. And Big Man's like, nope. It wasn't me that got you to where you're at today. It was God.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, God damn. So I just changed my whole perspective of, you know, sponsoring and God. And it's like, wow, yeah, he's right. You know, it's not them. He's like, we just helped you get to where you're at. You know, your sponsor helped you get through these steps and find the higher power of your understanding. But we're just like you. And I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. So now I just roll with it different, you know. It's like, okay, even when I tell sponsees, like, I'm just here to get you through the steps, bro. You know.
Do you meet with like your sponsees?
Yeah, I meet
like
once a
weekly?
week. Once a week. We set a date. We get there every day, and that's just the way my sponsor took me through the book, you know. And if you can't make it, we'll meet on another day, but we'll get you through the steps, buddy. You know, I said, tell him once a week. And if I don't sponsor, I'm lost. I can start you know, what do they call it, displaced or whatever. What is that word? I don't know. Start getting lost, getting angry again. You know, real
Irritable,
yeah,
discontent.
yeah. Just thinking I run the show again, taking my will back. It's all true, you know. You gotta stay in the book to keep, you know, this lifestyle. It's
It really
crazy,
is.
man. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, enough about me. Hey, these guys all know about me. So
All three parts of the triangle:
yeah.
unity, service, and what is it? Recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's another thing too. I always thought service was like, you know, helping somebody move, or, you know, like picking up trash or helping a lady across the street. But service is totally different, you know.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's like taking people through the book, being of service to not only yourself, but, you know, your God of understanding. You know, we have all these different perspectives of service, you know. Especially when you're in your meeting and you hear all these people just talking different, but they're all just relatable on addiction, you know. It's an awesome life, and I like it.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a really good life.
Yeah,
I absolutely enjoy it.
yeah.
There were so many days that I wanted to not be here anymore, and like today I get to wake up and I get to be like, God, lead me where you need me. Let's go. You know,
Exactly.
like what is going on today? You know, and just thank Him for the day. You know, I've never had that kind of relationship with God ever in my life. You know, in life, like it has its life on life's terms. You know, like I feel like I'm just like walking around down the street, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. But I have tools today. I have people I could reach out to. I have a wonderful sponsor that I can reach out to all the time. I have a big sister, my big sister Kat. Like, you know, she's always in my corner ever since I was a little girl. Like, we never used to get along, like, cause she was just like the big sister. So like, you know, I was the baby all the time. Yeah. So like, but to see her today, you know, and I remember this one time she was talking about like these things that these other things that she wanted to have, like spirituality, like and it wasn't like money, it wasn't like cars, it wasn't any of that. It was spirituality and happiness and all these different things. And I was like, I listen to her all the time, and like she's one that like really inspires me to just like do big things. And you know, before I thought big things were like, oh, you know, like we're gonna have a fancy house or we're gonna have a fancy car, but like she's, you know, like just to see and watch her like get really close to Creator, and it has inspired me so much. I, you know, like it, to be able to walk alongside her in recovery is something great. You know, when I first came into recovery, she didn't want to do it for me. She's like, you know, like there's things that you got to do by yourself, and that was one of them. And she was like, you got to walk this journey alone. And I remember I was all like, just carry me, coddle me, love me, you know. And she kind of just did her own thing, and I was doing my own thing, and I'm super thankful for that, because if it wasn't for that, like I would still try to, you know, have somebody work my recovery for me, you know.
Yep. Today, we're like that, though. We're like codependent. You know? We're wicked codependent. That was bad. But yeah, so the person she's talking about is Kat. If you guys want to watch her video, she's on with her husband Dace a few videos back. I'll put the link in the description below. She's been on the channel, her and her husband. Good family. Yeah.
It's good.
So today, what do you do with your life in recovery?
Today I'm a house manager.
Awesome.
I'm a house manager at the Sober Living, and it's something that I didn't ever want to do, because I'm like, you know, I'm in my own little bubble. I don't know anybody else's business. You know, I was going to work, I was being mom, and I'd come home and I'd go to meetings, and that was it. That was my life. Today, you know, like it's a joy. It's a privilege. It's an honor to watch these ladies that I get to help today. Like
Yeah.
I get to see that light come on. I get to
yeah.
see that miracle. Like I'm on the front lines of watching miracles every single day. Like
Awesome.
these ladies getting jobs, you know, like going to
Yeah.
court and like getting probation, or you know, just everything. I get to see God working every single
Yeah.
day in this building at the Healing Hearts Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
And
Now, Healing Hearts is what is the Healing Hearts?
it's sober women's that rehabilitates women with their children.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. That's awesome.
I think that's the word, isn't it?
Yeah, Healing Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you basically run that? You by yourself, or
No, me and there's a whole group of us. There's a whole
house managers?
Yeah.
Or a whole team?
There's a whole team.
Oh wow.
We've
Okay.
got like 8 altogether. There's 8 house managers, and then we got our care
Dang.
coordinators, and then we have our supervisor and our supervisor's
Mhm.
assistant, and we got peer support. We have our social worker. Like
Nice.
we have security. Like we have, you know, we
A whole unit.
yeah, and we all come together and
How?
we all work together.
Yeah. So how would one get into Healing Hearts if anybody out there is looking to get in? You know, I mean, do you have to be a female? Do you have to be MHA enrolled member?
Yep, female MHA enrolled member,
Oh yeah.
and just
No, MHA is Mandan Hidatsa Rikra, the tribe we're enrolled at. So in case you guys want to know, but yeah. So just fill out an application and they'll
Yeah.
get you in. Do you have to go to treatment first or get out of jail first?
I
or-
mean, like treatment's not for everybody.
Yeah, so you can just come off the street if you want.
I think so.
Awesome.
There was a couple times that a couple ladies did.
Yeah.
I guess depending on like how you are, or
Yeah.
like, you know, maybe
If you
you
need
do.
a place to go.
Yeah, if you do need treatment, or if you do need
Yeah.
detox, you know, I'm not too
Yeah, that's
sure.
that's a damn good facility then.
It is.
Is it lockdown or can you just leave whenever you want?
Um,
Obviously there's rules, but an
yeah.
open door policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just head out if
You have to like there's different levels. There's like level
Mm.
1, and you really can't do anything except
Cool.
you know, like you're there for
Exactly.
like 2 weeks, you know, and
Like
on,
here.
on
Like,
level 1.
like,
Yeah.
like the sober living in the men's facilities, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
And I think,
Restrictions and no phone, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
but we do get our phone for an hour a day,
Oh,
so there's
wow.
a difference. There's
yeah.
a difference. You know,
Spoiled.
yeah.
Nah, it's-
We are very well taken care of
Yeah, that's
over
good.
there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think our supervisor, she does a really good job at doing everything.
Cool.
I always ask her, I was like, how do you balance everything? Like, how do you do all this? Because, like, I go crazy just trying to give everybody, you know, rides here, there,
Yeah.
and, like, you know, and then get in my meetings, and it's like, how do you do it? And she was like, I stay in prayer all the
Oh,
time.
wow.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Give it to God.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
Yeah. So today you take you have multiple sponsees, or how does that work?
Yep, I have multiple sponsees.
That's good. Does that help you? Does that help you maintain a sober lifestyle, like in recovery?
It does. I meant like my time management was always off all the time.
Okay.
So then I try to like set different times, and I'm not perfect at it whatsoever,
Obviously,
because like
we're humans.
yeah, and
Just good and bad.
yeah. So there's a couple times when I'm falling short on
Mhm.
things, but
Which is okay.
yeah.
Life ain't perfect. Obviously, we know that. We try to make it perfect, though.
Oh, I do. Perfectionism, having control,
Oh, yeah.
manipulation.
As
That's my thing.
as I got older, I started getting OCD. Started thinking about energies. I don't know why. It's just like I think about it. Maybe because I'm getting closer to turning back into ashes. Hey, no, I'm just kidding.
Don't
I'm
say
older.
that.
I'm older though. I'm thinking more about life and the next
What do
step.
you mean?
here.
How old are you?
I'm 46.
That's not even old.
I'm almost 50. So anyway, but yeah, I'm just thinking more and more of it's weird. It's like the OCD got worse. I can't have clutter. I just can't.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the energies have to flow with me. It's weird, isn't it?
Does it make it feel like better? Like
Yeah.
life is just better? Like your mind's
yeah,
better?
it just has
or
to
like,
flow around me. The aura or whatever it is. I don't know what
do you
it
have a
is.
super strict house here?
I do.
Do
You see the living room? It can't be. It's supposed to look like nobody lives here. That's our goal.
Really?
No clutter nowhere. You're getting struck up. You know, they don't like it, but it is what it is.
Darn
You know?
it. Just teaching guys how to be guys again?
Yeah. Yeah. No pee, no nothing on the floor in the bathroom, nothing. And strike you up. But,
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty strict. It's just the way we run our house, though. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any shout outs or anything before we close out? Do you want to shout anybody out or any final words for our YouTube family out there, the Recovery Word family?
My shout outs would be to my sponsor, my big sister, all the ladies at the Healing Hearts Lodge, my home group, Cap City.
Cap City.
Cap City is where it's at. And then my last words would probably be like, just stay close to God all the time. And don't leave after the miracle happens. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, well, it was wonderful having you on. You know what? I wouldn't mind if you could spread the good word. Maybe get a couple of your companions on up at the Healing Hearts Lodge.
Yeah.
Maybe if they wanted to come on.
Just reach out to you?
Yeah, just like us, Recovery Warrior on Facebook if they want to reach out to that page, or Jay Rizzo. You know, people know me as Jay Rizzo. Just reach out to me. And that being for you guys out there in the community, we're located in the Bismarck, Mandan area. If you guys want to be on the channel, reach out to me, drop me a message, or hit me on Facebook, or comment below if you guys want to be on the channel. I shoot an episode every week. I put them out Thursday. I am looking to, it is July 2024 right now, so I am looking to fill August 2024. But if you guys want to be on, let me know. I'm going to put it on my Facebook page. If you guys like what you see, hit that like. If you want to see subscribe, if you want to see more, hit that subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends. Share this. Hit up Denise if you guys want to be sponsored by her, you females out there. I also have a little promotion going. I give these to my guests. They're high quality decals. Hey.
The best of the best.
These will not fade. They will not peel off your car as you're cruising 90. But I do sell them for $5 a pop. Hit me up too if you guys want one and you're hard on cash. I'll just give you one. But I am trying to make cash, so I can send them to you if you guys want. But yeah, there you go.
Cool,
There you go, Denise.
Thank you very much.
You put it on your car, your bike helmet, your boss's desk, whatever.
Put it on the window.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right.
But yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said before, if you guys want to see more, hit that like. If you want to subscribe, I suggest you subscribe if you want to see more. Like I said, I'm putting out videos every week. So, yeah. With that, we will pass. Love you. Bye.